One of the holy grails of manhwa finally received its anime adaptation. Of course, I am talking about Solo Leveling. This manhwa has been trending for years and for all good reasons too. It managed to accumulate such a huge fan base that it became an obvious call to give it its animated adaptation. With the manhwa complete, we are able to make this video, and yes, this video might have spoilers for you anime watchers only, but hey, look at it this way, this video might intrigue you enough to go ahead and read the manhwa. However, this video will be based on the manhwa feats of characters as we list them from weakest to strongest, mentioning along the road all their feats and powers, so enjoy the ride. But before we begin, I would really appreciate it if you guys would like, share, subscribe, and comment on your favorite part of the video. And with that said, let's dive on in. Certainly arranging the characters from perceived weakest to strongest based on available information up to my last knowledge update in January of 2022. Up first here we have Kamish, the original disaster, the calamity bringer, the destroyer of the USA's entire west coast. Yeah, I'd be okay with it gone actually. But this fucker single-handedly took out the entire west coast of the United States of America, destroying everything in its path and squashing everyone under his giant feet. Whether it was an S rank or D rank, no one survived his onslaught. Hell, not even the heroes that actually defeated the damn thing managed to live to tell the tale. A lot of souls were lost that day, and just imagine that his force of nature was only a minion of Antares. Up next we have Go Gun Hee. Chairman Go Gun Hee had a very impactful role in molding the personality of Sun Jin the way he did. Jin saw him as a role model and wanted to be like him someday, and this old man is no joke, however. He is, after all, a retired S-rank hunter with the shards of a ruler residing inside him. Due to old age, he had to hang up the cape, take an administrative role, nurture and raise the new generation of heroes, and sadly the manhwa never showed us just how powerful this man actually is. Or was, rather. I mean, he must have been special to be one of the 4 hunters chosen to be ruler vessels. He sadly meets his end at the hands of the Frost Monarch, leading to the Monarchs' War. Here we have Christopher Reed. Christopher Reed was America's strongest hunter and one of the top 5 national hunters. Holding the title of 3rd hunter in the world, he let the fame get to his head. Christopher, after all, was also a vessel of the ruler's power with the ability of spiritual body manifestation, an ability that changes his form into that of the ruler residing in him, gaining an immense damage and power boost. A form that he used against the monarchs that ambushed him. He put up one hell of a fight too, but alas, numbers beat his courage and the monarchs killed him. Up next we have Liu Zingen. Just like Christopher Reed and Go Gun Hee, Liu also is a powerful titan and the strongest Chinese hunter. Other than the fact that he is powerful as a hunter, he also possesses the power of a ruler inside of him. Opposed to the other 3 on the list, he has the smallest ego. I mean, he's still got a big one, but at least he is willing to accept and acknowledge that there is someone far stronger than him, and that the gap in power is just impossible to close. Jin Woo. It wasn't clearly stated in the manhwa whether he had the ability to activate spiritual body manifestation, but I like to believe so. In the final Monarch's War, he had little impact unlike Jin Woo, but when it is scaled to normal humans, it's like comparing the tallest building on Earth to a 2-store building. Yes, he is strong, but not that strong. He isn't Jin Woo after all. Up next we have Thomas Andre. Ah, yes, the last and final hunter that possesses the power of a ruler inside of him. The arrogant titan. He is the strongest national hunter, ranking 1st in the world. This Goliath's name alone drives fear into his foes and anyone that dares to be on the other end of his fists. He is somewhat brash and prefers that his fists do talking than to actually sit down and talk some sense into someone. He fights first and asks questions later. This man is a beast. He even held his own against a monarch for a tiny minute there before the monarch went full ham on him. But hey, it's still impressive that a mere human, granted with the power of a ruler, was still able to fight toe-to-toe with a monarch at full power for just a few minutes. Up next, we have Il Wan. Did I say Andre was the last one that had a ruler's power in him? Well, I forgot to mention this man, the one and the only, the father of the Shadow Monarch Il Wan. This man was fighting his son's enemies from the shadows until he made it clear that no one is touching a hair on his son's head as long as he lives. Sadly though, he had a deadly weakness: mana attacks. However, even then he took it upon himself to hold the Frost Monarch at bay until his son was able to recover some of his power to finish off the Frost Monarch once and for all. Up next we have the Monarch of Plagues. I will say her name just once because I know damn well I am gonna butcher it. Okay, here it goes. The Monarch of Plagues is also called Queen Kerehesha. I think I said that right. And as much as I would love to debate about how her name is spelled and how you say it, I have to stay focused here and talk about her as a character. Even though she holds the title of Monarch, Kerehesha is still one of the weakest monarchs out there. During the Monarchs War arc, she met her end at the hands of son Jin Woo, even though she had the Monarch of Beastly Fangs and the Monarch of Frost backing her up. Her end was swift, just like her introduction, and the only reason I set her higher than son Il Wan is the fact that she is a monarch and nothing more. Now next we have the Monarch of the Beginning, or Leia. The King of Giants is one of the 10 monarchs and a very powerful and special one at that. For starters, he is the only monarch with an organic body, and the only one that the rulers realized just how much of a threat he was to the point they restrained him with magical chains made of mana. Besides these, he had the ability to discover the truth from anyone. You are literally unable to lie to this beast. After attempting to lure Jin Woo into a trap to free him from his captivity, Jin Woo discovers his plot and subdues him with a single strike, cleaving his head right off his body. Sadly, we weren't able to witness the true power of this monarch unleashed, and that is why he is this low on the list. And up next we have Egis. Now, Commander Egis was such an iconic figure in the manhwa, and even though many other commanders and marshals beat him in power, Egis remains Sung's very first commander, and we all know just how epic it was summoning Egis for the first time ever. Adding Egis to his arsenal gave him a gigantic power boost, and when it comes to combat, Egis doesn't slack one bit. Over the course of the series, Egis gained a lot of new weapons and power-ups, slingshotting him from the rank of commander to that of marshal. Sadly, however, Baru and Bellion were still leagues above him, and that is why he is ranked 9 on the list. And here we have Baru. Baru is a powerful character to say the least. After all, he wasn't called the King of the Ants for naught. He is one of Sung Jin Woo's strongest shadow soldiers after Jin Woo's transformation into the Shadow Monarch. Baru is notable for his incredible combat abilities and loyalty to Sung Jin Woo. Baru was the strongest warrior in the army of Jin all the way until the very end of the manhwa, when that title was snatched from him by Bellion. And speaking of which, up next we have Bellion. Bellion is notoriously known as the strongest shadow in the arsenal of the original Shadow Monarch Ashbourne, and his most loyal servant. Bellion was ranked Grand Marshal under the leadership of both Ashbourne and Sung Jin Woo. After the battle he had with Baru for that title, this beast proved why he deserved that rank. He was even able to assist Jin Woo to his fullest potential even when fighting other monarchs. Born from the World Tree itself, he has immense strength, speed, and durability. Sadly though, even a monster like him still has his limits and weaknesses, and that is why he is number 11 on the list. Up next we have Monarch of White Flames, or for short, Demon King Baran. During Sung's journey through the many floors of hell, his final and last encounter was the Demon King Baran himself, the Monarch of White Flame. And to say the least, this battle was hard fought. What makes Baran special is the fact that he was created by the architect and not by the absolute being, aka the god of solo leveling universe. And at the time, Sung Jin Woo had a really tough time dispatching this beast since he was under-leveled back then. However, compared to how powerful Jin has become, the Monarch of White Flames is as weak as they get. Next we have Monarch of Iron Body. The King of Monsters is seen as one of the strongest characters in the solo leveling universe. This force of nature was introduced to us during the battle in which he and the Frost Monarch killed off Christopher Reed, the national rank hunter and third strongest hunter in the United States of America. He didn't only kill Chris, he went even further and mutilated his body for everyone to see. This monarch also has the unique and rare ability of Erasure. It's kinda like Hakai in Dragon Ball Super. This beast met his end at the hands of not one, not two, but 3 powerful characters on this list, and these 3 are Baru, Thomas Andre, and Bellion. And up next we have Monarch of Frost. Yet another absurdly broken monarch belonging to the upper echelon in terms of power. He is also known as the King of Snowfolk. This monarch is an ice elf that uses this affinity of his in numerous creative ways, whether it is to defend, make weapons, or attack. This monarch has it all, and was able to defeat 2 hunters possessed by rulers. He can also create and manipulate ice golems to do his bidding, kinda like how Sung Jin has his own shadow army. This monarch met his end at the hands of Jin Woo right after the Frost King killed his father. And here we have the Monarch of Beastly Fangs. The King of the Beast needs no introductions whatsoever. He is also among the most powerful monarchs, slightly above the Frost Monarch. I dare say only because of his pure bloodlust and animalistic style of fighting. However, that animalistic instinct of his worked against him when standing in the presence of Sung Jin Woo himself. Every single fiber in his body told him that he should escape this place or else he was going to die. Funny enough, Sung Jin Woo tracked his whereabouts and killed him nonetheless. And up next we have Antares, the harbinger of destruction and chaos, the king of dragons, and the master of the first calamity to hit the human race, Kamish. This is the force of nature that Sung Jin Woo had to go up against to finally end it all. He was the final hurdle in the path of Sung Jin Woo to free the human race from the chains of the monarchs and rulers. Next we have Monarch of the Shadows. Ashborn, the OG ruler/monarch that betrayed the rulers and gave Sung Jin Woo his powers, this monarch is easily the strongest one of them all thanks to his ability Shadow Extraction. This son of a gun can easily create his own damn army, and whatever you throw at him has the potential to join his army and be used against you once more. And that is just insane. This guy gave no qualms whatsoever. He fought for eons and amassed a gigantic army to say the least, and he is only second to our beloved Sung Jin Woo. And speaking of him, our top slot goes to Sung Jin Woo. The man, the myth, the legend, the hero, the godlike, immortal, human, him. The most powerful monarch. This guy gained many more titles along the way that I can't count in a single video. Started off from just being an A rank, worthless and a mere hunter to the strongest hunter to ever exist, and the sole reason that Earth is safe from the ruler's interference and the monarch's destruction. I don't think you understand the impact of what Jin did at the end of it all. This man decided to single-handedly, along with the help of his army of course, to take out all that will ever be deemed as a threat to Earth and keep trying it over and over again until he finally defeats them all and shows them just how impossible it is to even think of harming Earth or its people. Sung Jin Woo is a literal god by the end of the manhwa, and rightfully so, after all he did. That is why, of course, he is the strongest one on this list. And with that, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this list, and let me know if any of the heroes or hunters that I missed in the video that you wanted me to mention. And also remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.